I never believed the stories about people watching campsites from the woods, at least, not until it happened to me. A few years ago, my friend and I decided to go camping deep in a forest several hours from the nearest town. The place was quiet, too quiet. We set up our tent near a small clearing and spent the evening talking around the campfire. As the sun disappeared behind the trees, everything felt normal. Nothing seemed wrong. Around midnight, I woke up to a strange feeling. You know that feeling when you suddenly become aware that something isn't right? That's exactly what it felt like. At first, I thought it was an animal, maybe a deer, maybe a fox. Then I heard it, footsteps, slow, heavy, crunching through leaves. I sat completely still inside my sleeping bag. The footsteps circled our campsite once, then stopped. I waited and waited and waited. Nothing. Finally, I gathered enough courage to unzip the tent slightly and look outside. The campfire had almost gone out. The forest was dark, but near the edge of the trees, I saw a figure standing completely still. A person. At first I thought it was another camper, but something felt wrong. The figure wasn't moving, not even a little. It was just standing there, watching. I whispered to my friend and pointed toward the trees. The moment he looked, the figure stepped backward into the darkness and disappeared. Neither of us slept for the rest of the night. Every small sound made us jump. Every movement outside the tent made us think it had returned. As soon as the sun came up, we packed our gear and left. Before leaving, we walked over to where the figure had been standing. The ground was soft from recent rain. There were footprints, human footprints, just one set. They led out of the forest, but none of them led in. To this day, I still don't know who was standing there watching us, or how they got there without leaving a trail behind them. Story 2. A man was camping alone in a remote forest when he heard something unusual outside his tent. At first, it sounded like an animal. A few seconds later, he realized it wasn't. The sound was footsteps, slow, steady, and circling the tent. He stayed completely still, hoping whoever was outside would leave. Instead, the footsteps stopped directly beside the tent. Silence followed. Several minutes passed. Nothing moved. Nothing made a sound. Then he heard a voice. It was a woman quietly calling for help. "Please help me. Please." The voice sounded close, almost as if she was standing right outside. Every instinct told him to unzip the tent and look. But something felt wrong. He remembered a warning he had once heard from experienced campers. Never leave your tent in the middle of the night because of a voice you can't see. So he stayed inside. The voice continued for several minutes, then suddenly stopped. The rest of the night was completely silent. The next morning, he stepped outside and checked the area around his campsite. There was nobody there. No signs of another camper. No footprints. Nothing. To this day, he still doesn't know who was calling for help, or why the voice seemed to move around the tent without leaving a single trace behind. Story 3. A group of 3 friends decided to spend a weekend camping near a forest trail that had been abandoned for years. The first day was completely normal. They explored the area, cooked food, and spent the evening around the campfire. Just before midnight, one of them noticed something strange. Far between the trees was a single light. At first, they assumed it belonged to another camper, but the light wasn't moving. It simply remained in the same place for hours. Every time they checked, it was still there, watching from the darkness. Eventually, they went to sleep. But around 3 in the morning, one of them woke up. The light was closer, much closer. It was no longer deep in the forest. It was now standing near the edge of their campsite. He woke the others immediately. The 3 of them stared toward the trees. The light remained completely still. No movement, no sound, nothing. After several minutes, one of the friends grabbed a flashlight and pointed it toward the strange glow. The moment the beam touched it, the light disappeared, gone. The forest became completely dark again. The next morning, curiosity got the better of them. They walked to the place where the light had appeared. There was no campsite, no lantern, no equipment, nothing that could explain what they had seen, but they did find something unusual, a small circle of burned ground, as if a fire had been lit there recently. The strange part was that there were no footprints leading to it, and no footprints leading away. The three friends packed their equipment and left that afternoon. None of them ever returned to that forest again.